Good morning, folks. You're tuned into Car Connection, where the coffee's strong, the stories are real, and the wrenches never stop turning. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you from the Car Connection Workshop, where the smell of fresh oil, little elbow grease is all part of a balanced breakfast. Around here, we don't just talk cars, we live them. Whether it's a 25-year-old Jeep Wrangler getting a second chance at life, or a Nissan Rogue getting its brakes back in order, or a mystery leak that's got everyone scratching their heads. This is where we roll up our sleeves and get it done with a little wit, a little wisdom, and a whole lot of fun. The Car Connection isn't just about nuts, bolts, and diagnostics. It's about connection. Connection to our vehicles, to the people who drive them, and to the community that keeps Niagara rolling. Because when you fix a car, you're not just turning a wrench, you're restoring someone's confidence, freedom, and maybe even their sanity. We're here every week, Monday through Saturday morning. Join us for the 8 a.m. Motormouth Morning Drive, helping you keep your ride safe, reliable, and ready for whatever road lies ahead. So whether you're a weekend wrencher, a daily commuter, or someone who just wants to understand what that strange rattle really means, welcome aboard. If you're joining us for the very first time, stick around for shop talk, expert advice, a few good laughs, and maybe a story or two. You never know what pops into my head. Well, we're going to be talking about this morning lifetime fluids. I love that term. Lifetime. Yeah, lifetime fluids. Marketing versus mechanical. That's where we're going to kind of pull over and park on, because that term lifetime has a lot of us fooled. And so I'm going to break that out for you when it comes to fluids. And I may even talk about filters, because what's important is that word lifetime needs to be broken down and dissected north, south, east, and west, so you really know what they're really saying when they say lifetime. Because that's the word that tickles many of our ears when we're making a purchase on something. Oh, no, not to worry about maintenance. No. You didn't understand me. This has lifetime warranty. It's good for lifetime. You never have to change it. We're going to talk about that as well, so stick around. If you're joining us for the very first time, we do things a certain way here in the Car Connection Workshop. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, in the driver's seat this morning. And Car Connection is brought to you by Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road in Niagara Falls, building Canada since 1931. Imagine that. Building supplies, hardscape, landscaping materials, they can help you to design, pick out products to make that backyard look absolutely stunning. Create that oasis you've always wanted to have, so that, maybe it's a staycation this year. Might as well make it look really good back there. They can line you up with some contractors that will get the job started and finish it. There's something to imagine. Starting a project, finishing it, estimating it accurately, and getting the job done so that you have something to look forward to. And I was just reading an article yesterday online about a landscaping company, huge. They do a lot of work, and they're saying we're in February. Now is the time to start lining that up. So there you go. If you want the lower pay grade contractors to do the work, good luck. I've done that, and you know what? Here's what we know about everything on the planet. The lowest builder has built it. That's not what you want. What you want is the results, and that's what they'll get you at Niagara Block. 5000 Montrose Road in Niagara Falls. Connect with them today. Start lining up the holes in the Swiss cheese so that you can get that backyard oasis that you've always wanted. So that was a word of wisdom from a landscaping corporation. It said, it's February. Now is the time to get on our calendar for landscaping. So I just thought I'd share that with you. And that is true because the good guys, they're tied up. Busy. The other guys, well, we won't go there out of respect. We won't go there. You can find everything that we talk about on our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensville on the web.ca, iHeartRadio, our merch store. It's all on the homepage of our website. We call that the biggest drawer in our toolbox. So you can connect with all our program partners. And if you'd like, you can click on the links, follow, share, like, ring the bell, do the whole package, and be part of our Car Connection community. There's a lot available for you to learn the fundamental basics about vehicle ownership. And I'm going to be working hard in 2026 to change your mindset about it's just a car. No, it's a fleet vehicle. And when you practice fleet maintenance, you will be shocked at how long you can keep that vehicle going. Mileage means absolutely nothing. That's a sales pitch from the pit of hell, and it smells like smoke. They don't want you maintaining it. They want it to become a wreck in 3 to 5 years so that you get back on the never, never plan, making payments and interest, and they move another piece of sheet metal and rubber across the curb. That's their objective. Your objective should be, if you're interested in keeping your vehicle long-term, packing as much mileage on that vehicle as possible. That's why we have the 300,000 kilometer club, 400,000 K miles club, and the 600,000 K miles club. And my question to you today, how is it fleet companies can get 1 million miles, not kilometers, 1 million miles out of one of their units that they're running up and down the highway? How is that possible if they don't do any maintenance whatsoever? You just run, and hope for the best. Is this a good one? Did they build us a good one? So I'm planting that seed. You have to answer that question. How is that possible? When the sales guy says you got 3 years, 60,000 K, and that's it. Really? I just look at him and go, really? That's all you can give me on how much money I'm spending? $65,000? You gotta be stinking kidding me. Really? What's my ROI on that when it's depreciating at 15 to 35% per year? At the end of the day, you can't even buy a Timmy's with it. Folks, if you're interested in reducing the size of your repair bills on your car, keeping that vehicle long-term, giving the engine transmission longevity, and stuffing cash back in your wallet, if that's of interest, you've landed on the right podcast. You're checking in to the right YouTube channel as well, because that's where I teach you this stuff so you can see it. So not just hear it through the microphone here on the podcast, but see it. We have almost 200 videos up there from the basics. Where are the fluids? What do they look like? How do you find them? How do you check them? How do you test a battery? How do you know if a battery's good, bad, or ugly? Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Antifreeze. What are we looking for? How do we test it? What does a color mean? I walk you through all of that. Brakes. Why did these brakes fail? What do we need to do now to bring them back up to par? All that stuff we cover on our YouTube channel so that you can put money and stuff it back in your wallet. Okay, so with that, before I digress and get into something else, because that can happen. It can happen. You know, the spark plug goes off in my brain and go, oh, yeah, let's talk about that. First and foremost, if you're here for the very first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We love our first-time visitors to pieces. So we got to teach you a few things. Number one, we always have our favorite morning beverage ready. So if you're zippity-doo-dying through the drive-thru, don't forget to check your orders so there's no discouragement and disappointment going on when you're already 5 miles away from the takeout window. Not that that's happened to me before. Doesn't happen anymore because I'm on that. Yeah, like Axel on a donut. Number two, we pass over the folded leaf bag that looks like a laptop and the 16-pack of Crayola crayons so our co-pilot, if you have one, can take some notes. But if not, I got you covered, babies. You just go to our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, and I put all this in the description of our YouTube videos as well as our podcast. So we have, this morning is Series 1, Episode 80. We have 80 podcasts available to you right now by date, topic, series, and episode. So you can find it and listen and re-listen and share it as well. Just go to our homepage, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, ccbusnet.com. I put that in the description. That's the shortest we could go. After 31 years, still, that's the shortest we can go. Because the fellow that has CCBN thinks it's worth like tens of thousands of dollars. And, he's waiting for me to cave. Yeah, hell will freeze over first, guy, just so you know. So click on the iHeart icon in the top right-hand corner of the page. It'll take you to our iHeart library. And from there, you can just search, click, and listen, re-listen. And you can upload it as well from there. So we're all set. Excuse me. I'm still suffering with this winter, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Man, that looks like a lock washer. Anyways, we have a beverage together. You ready? On 3, 2, 1, raise your cup, whatever it is. If it's Tai Chi or Oolong, doesn't matter. We drink coffee. Copious quantities of 99.5% octane boost. So let's have a sip together of our morning beverage. And good morning to each and every one of you. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's happening. For sure. You know what, folks? It's Friday. It's Friday, friends. We've made it. For some of us, we've made it to the weekend. For others, you work the weekend. And I've worked weekends for over 31 years. I don't know what having a Saturday off is like unless I take off to my brother-in-law's cottage and do a little fishing and just a little rest. Yeah. Then Saturdays, what day is it? Oh, it's Tuesday. You lose track of time. Anyhow, let's take a look at the weather. I heard about it yesterday. I thought I better let you know this morning on your drive what you can expect. I've done all that I needed to do on the road this week and got it done early in the week because I had heard through my pops that snow was coming in later in the week. And here's what we have. In the Niagara region, blowing snow advisory. So please be safe out there. Slow down. Adjust your driving to the road conditions, all right? And give the road crews lots of space as they work to try and keep us on the road, not in the rhubarb or upside down in the ditch. Blowing snow advisory. These conditions are expected by 1 p.m. today, Friday, February 6th. Hazy conditions expected around 8 a.m. Wind gusts up to 22 kilometers an hour are making the temperature feel like 9 degrees. And my phone is in degrees and inches. Yeah, I believe that the metric system is a tool of the devil. That's why I had to have 2 toolboxes. Back in the day when metric system came in, bought all my tools as an apprentice at that time, all in SAE, for some idiot to bring in the metric system. That was great for the Snap-on and Mac tool trucks guys. They were rubbing their hands together going, goody, goody, goody. We get to get them again. We had to buy. So imagine you got a toolbox full of SAE tools. Now you got to buy them all over again in metric. Is that dumb or dumbest or dumberer? I'm not sure. But that was like making the purchase from ground zero all over again. And no, we were not, as mechanics, if you didn't own a business, you couldn't write your tools off. But a plumber with a bucket full of goods and a plumber's crack, he can write that all off all day long. Yeah, but us auto service techs, no. Unless you own the shop you're working for, no, you get to write off nothing. So anyways, I thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, here's the rest of the forecast. I just pulled up some more so you can get all the details. 15 degrees right now and cloudy in the Niagara region. Wind is making it feel colder, about 9 degrees. Hazy conditions expected around 8 a.m. Today's temperature range, 8 degrees to a balmy 26. But it's going to feel like, with the wind, minus 9 to 19 degrees. So dress warm. Make sure you got your travel goodies in the car in case something should happen. A full jug of washer fluid, not a partial. Yep, I've learned my lesson big time, let me tell you. So full jug goes in the rear, and I get another jug off the shelf, and I fill up the washer fluid bottles, so I am ready to do business with the road schlop. Exactly. And you know how much that stuff you can go through just getting to work one direction. So make sure you also park your vehicle out of the wind. Get the engine bay out of the wind today, because that wind chill and blowing snow will pack your engine out. And I remember one time when I was working for Mack Trucks of Canada, and I was on long shift, which started at 3. We finished at 1:30 in the morning, and it had been snowing like the devil all day. And I drove into work from Hamilton to Queensway and Kipling. That's where the dealership was. It was 91 of us service techs in this ginormous building, and there was a back shop where they built new trucks and customized trucks back there. So I was on swing shift, so you overlap about an hour with day shift. So we go in at 3 and get our packet of and our working orders and whatnot, and what bay we're going to be working in. We worked in pairs. So anyways, it's 1:30 in the morning. So I'm heading out, and you couldn't even see the cars in the parking lot. You couldn't tell what color they were. So it's 1:30 in the stinking morning, and I had this little 1976 Valiant. First Dodge I ever owned. It was good. I brushed off the driver's door, got my hand in there, cranked it over, and it didn't sound right cranking over. I'm like, uh-oh, it's going to be a long night. So I open the hood, and it's completely flat in there with snow. Like, it's white, solid, and it's shaped like the underside of the hood. You don't want that to happen, because you got to dig it all out. You can't just start the engine. You got to dig it out, get everything out from around the distributor, all the ignition, the starter motor, the alternator, the carburetor. You got to dig it out. So there I am, 1:30 in the morning, digging out my engine, because I parked it the wrong direction. It was blowing in the parking lot, and it stuffed the engine bay completely full. So I share that to say, don't let that happen to you, because that is not fun. Because you can't just get in under the hood and get rammy and pulling and digging like a wild rodent, because you're going to unplug stuff, break some wiring, and then it won't start. So yeah, it's a project. So you want to make sure that park. I say all that to say how important that is. It may sound trivial to park the front of the nose of the vehicle out of the wind. That's the reason why. And I went and did a service call for a single mom last week, and the same thing applied. I went and got the battery out, and it's good we rescued it the day before, because one more day it would have been non-rescuable. Went back to put it in, and the van had got the vehicle started and had turned it around so the nose of it was facing in the west wind, and there's a hard west wind where they're located. So when I opened the hood to put the battery back in, it was filling up with snow. So that's what you don't want. So let's jump into our topic this morning, which isn't a really long one, but it is a very important one. Very, very important. So we want to say thank you to Rainbow Motors, Rita and Ramesh Shanoot up in Scarborough, Ontario, with Rainbow Motors and Garage, sales and service you can trust night and day. These guys have been with our on-air radio program, Car Connection, for many years, and now we're all fully digital, and they're still with us, and that's fantastic, because that's an area, for all the flat earthers, not too far from Scarborough. You can't drive over the edge and go underneath the flat world. Yeah, haven't quite figured that one out yet, but Scarborough, I hear, is like close to the edge. And it's great to have the brothers up there to take care of you, because they will take great care of you. So whether you're looking to purchase a vehicle, they have a small car lot there. Some of the vehicles qualify for extended aftermarket warranties, and there are a couple of companies that are really good to deal with for aftermarket warranty, if that gives you a peace of mind. But sales and service. So you can purchase a vehicle there and also have it serviced there, and they service all years, makes, and models, including and up to light commercial vehicles. So check in with Rita and Ramiz Shanuta, the brothers, up in Scarborough at Rainbow Motors and Garage, sales and service that you can certainly trust. All right, let's dive right into this morning. Did that make sense? Let's dive right into this morning. Yeah, it works. Lifetime fluids. First of all, I'm circling right now that word lifetime, because here's where we have to unpack the word salad. Yeah, don't get me started on that topic. We don't have enough time. There's only 168 hours in a week, and we can't make it to 171. I've tried. Lifetime. What does that really mean? What does it really mean? Well, on a number of packages, if you see the word lifetime and you take the time to read the small print, the company will tell you what that really means. Exactly. Time or mileage. Month or year. So they will actually bust themselves by having to tell you what their meaning of lifetime is, but you got to be willing to look for it. And in some cases, it's tricky. They hide it very well in the very small print that looks almost non-existent. Like, I don't even know how they can make print that small. Yeah. What font is that exactly? I don't know. I can't figure it out. So in the automotive world, let's break down what the manufacturers say and what the dealer level says. They use a lot of lifetime. Well, what it means in the automotive industry is the time by days or months or years or mileage, whichever one you hit first, that's the end of the lifetime warranty. So when you hear that word lifetime, you really should cringe, because that's not true. Whatever it is, lifetime antifreeze, no. Lifetime maintenance-free batteries, no. Lifetime fluids, no. And I'm going to give you the Margaret Thatcher no this morning. I feel up to it. No. 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 Correct. So you got that? You've just been thatched. Yeah. Well, here's somebody in the shop saying no. I go, I think that warrants Thatch. No. Okay, I'm on it. Is you have to understand the meaning behind that. Is that's what they want you to hear, and that's what you want to hear is maintenance free, lifetime warranty. And none of it is true. Don't buy into the lie. I just made that up. I like that. We should put that on a shirt. Don't buy into the lie. When you hear those words, lifetime and warranty, you need to start looking for what that really means and ask, what does that really mean exactly? They'll hesitate to give you an answer. They'll give you what I call the non-answer answer. You can ask them a yes or no question, like some other things that we can't talk about right here. And a yes, a question that requires only a yes or a no, but you'll get this. Because at that point you should say, I'm smelling what you're selling. Okay? So lifetime on an automobile is the day the warranty runs out or you hit that magic kilometer and it's over. You got zip. And I've seen that happen. And I've seen it happen with people that have taken out a lease and they've hit the mileage within the first 2 years and they still have another whole year to go on the lease and they've had to park it and go and buy a beater. Yeah. And you're making the lease payments, but you're going to go over mileage and they're going to crush you per kilometer for going over mileage unless you got to re-listen to that podcast, leasing versus buying. Unless you buy back mileage, then you can blow over it, but you're going to pay per kilometer. And if you don't buy back mileage, then the question you need to ask is, every kilometer I blow over, what are you going to charge me for that? And make sure it's in writing. Yeah, so you're going to pay for those kilometers. Yeah, that's a great. We'll do that podcast again. That's totally 100% perfect example of the never plan. For the average Joe that doesn't own a corporation that needs to write down income, leasing for you is not a great idea whatsoever. If you're working with a financial planner, certified financial planner, you're not going to hear them say, that's a great idea, you should do that. No, you will not hear that. So where are we at with fluids? They are not lifetime. And I'm going to put them all in one package. One, heating and cooling. That's what happens to fluids. And thermal breakdown happens. I don't care what brand it is. I don't care if it's purple, pink, blue, or orange. It breaks down thermally from the constant heating, cooling, heating, cooling, heating, cooling. Every moment of every kilometer you drive, the fluids are degrading. And they're getting contaminated. Their lifetime fluids do not shed dirt. Okay? If I came into your home and said, yeah, our carpets, they shed dirt. Yeah. You never have to vacuum them, and they come with lifetime warranty. Like if your dog has a mistake on the carpet, you just flick it right off. It actually rejects it. It just kicks it off the carpet. You'd look at me and go, you're an idiot. Wouldn't you? Be nice about it, though, at the same time. So fluids don't know they're dirty. Fluids don't know how much dirt they've picked up. Fluids don't know how many times they've been heated and cooled, and they are on the cusp of not being able to protect the mechanical devices that they're supposed to protect. Fluids are not lifetime. They're not. So what do they really mean? There's a window of time and kilometers that the fluid will be okay. But here's what I have to ask. And a great example is an engine air filter. And I remember one time asking my factory representative, I said, Mike, how can the owner's manual in the maintenance section tell you that you need a new air filter, engine air filter, every 12,000 kilometers? I said, that's a stinking lot of mileage. And he says, well, you know, Niall, is only a suggestion. He was from Bavaria. And I'm like, oh, does the consumer know that? Like, I don't see anything on the front of the maintenance book that says all these services are only suggestions. Answer, it's a yes or no, right? No. That's up to the consumer to figure that out. So where am I going with this? Anything that anyone is trying to sell you on your automobile that has lifetime warranty, there is a perimeter. There's a perimeter, and you have to seek it. You have to ask. Is it 120 days? Or in a lot of cases, it'd be 1 year, 20,000 kilometers. That was pretty much standard in the industry when I had my own shop on the Hamilton Mountain for 11 years. 1 year, 20,000 K. If we bought an engine from somewhere, that's what they give us. If we bought a pre-owned engine from somewhere, it'd be 120 days, right? 120 days from the day of purchase, not the day you turn the key and it's in the car and it's running. That's not how it works. From the day it lands and you got the invoice and we paid for that motor, the meter's running. 120 days. Not mileage, 120 days. If we bought a remanufactured engine, it would be 1 year, 20,000 K on a lot of items that we bought that came into the shop. Fluids are exactly the same way. They're only going to last so long. And a company stating that it's lifetime, the fluids are good for lifetime, are setting you up for mechanical catastrophe, mechanical failure. It's not a one-time thing. That's what I'm trying to say. No, plus no, times no, divided by no equals no. The answer to that is no. And if that person that's selling me that is standing in front of me, I'm going to take their lunch money and their milk money away from them because I'm going to blow more holes in their Swiss cheese. Nicely. Fluids do not know when they're dirty. So back to the air filter. So I say, Mike, what if, and at that time I was living out in the countryside, my nearest neighbor was like 2.5 kilometers away. So you didn't need any fences. They were, make a call and you'd see this billowing dust coming down the dirt road. They're coming to help you. And I explained that to him. I go, would that person driving that car have an engine air filter last 12,000 kilometers living on dusty, dirty back roads? Well, Niall, he'd say. I go, what? How can they say 12,000 kilometers? That guy's engine air filter is going to be plugged in probably 6 months. Plugged solid. If he hangs on for 12K, he's going to burn the engine clean out. And he just looked at me. That was my answer. And I go, it's a very vague suggestion, isn't it? You don't know when that car comes off the assembly line, where it's going, who's owning it, and what are the conditions where that car is going to be living, or is it living in severe conditions? Like, gravel roads are the toughest thing on any automobile anywhere at any time. They're dusty, they're dirty all the time. Your car is covered in dust all the time, getting sandblasted by that dust all the time. So the vehicle's going to plug up an engine air filter, cabin air filter in no time flat. So it all comes back on the consumer. You're either a consumer or an edge or a prosumer. That means you're a professional consumer. You see through the muck and the lies and the word salad. So it all circles back to fleet maintenance, repairs and maintenance, preventative maintenance, scheduled maintenance. That's the way you're going to beat it. Because thinking that you just have to buy that lustrous can of motor oil and pay the big buka bucks for it and put that into your engine and you're good for lifetime. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's going to thermally break down, get saturated with dirt, and there's no service light for that, folks. Fluids are not monitored. Cooling system is monitored, but it doesn't tell you the condition of your antifreeze. It doesn't. And there's no lifetime antifreeze. There's no lifetime batteries. There's no maintenance-free batteries. There's no lifetime anything. That's where I'm going. Trust me, 44 years as an auto service tech and still going like the Energizer Bunny. Yeah. I like that. Like the Energizer Bunny. I did some grunt work yesterday. I feel like I can scratch the bottom of my feet standing up with my hands. Yeah, lifting some heavy stuff. Ye gads, man. Who should have to do that? Skippy, get that done. So I want you to fully understand that. And that's a lie from the pit of hell. Lifetime. If you want to watch a really good YouTube channel, I'm going to put a plug in for him because he does a fantastic job. Lake is his name. His father was Lake Speed, very famous NASCAR driver. And Lake has a channel called Motor Oil Geek. And I'll tell you what, he loses me in some of the breakdowns that he does. But he goes through motor oil completely and tells you what's going on in today's world with engines, winding up the way they are and consuming oil. It's all in design because the manufacturers know that you're running these cars up and down the road like you stole them. Like if it breaks, somebody else is paying for it. I don't know. I can't understand that philosophy that, you're going to drive the living stink out of that car home to work, home to work, home to work, home to work. And if you blow that motor up, it's not covered by warranty. How are you paying for that? And like, what happens at that point? Today was the day the motor blows up. Transmission lets go. These are big ticket items. How are you paying for that if you're still paying for the car? And it's not covered by warranty because you're out by mileage or time. So there's no lifetime warranty. Do many of you think about that stuff? We used to always say when we were building four-wheel drives, or you buy an expensive four-wheel drive and you're going out on weekends and mudding it and beating it up and everything. Pay hard, play hard, pay hard. That's what our boss would always say. Play hard, pay hard. Got to be willing to, you break something huge, you got to be willing to pay for it and get it back out on the road. Are you thinking about that? Why not go buy a beater four-wheel drive, and if you hit a tree or a rock punctures the floor or whatever, who cares? Patch it up with some old license plates and keep going. But buying a $60,000 four-wheel drive vehicle and taking it out and climbing rocks and stuff, I can't wrap my head around that. Paying $50,000 for a car and driving it like you stole it, like if it blows up, Somebody else is paying. I can't wrap my head around that because there's no logic in it. There's no logic. If you want to drive a vehicle and keep it long-term, longevity, and keep it for 300, 400, 600, you got to listen to that podcast. I think I did that last week or the week before. We were talking about that. You can do it. It's very easily doable, but you got to change your mindset that, you know what, when you get in, you put the key in it, you start it. There's the thing called vehicle ownership. You own it. So if you blow it up, you're paying. And if you don't have the money to replace it because the motor is going to be $16,000, how are you coming up with that? What's your game plan for next week to get back and forth to work? Do you think about that? I don't know. But this program is really not for that person. It's not. Because what I'm telling you is what I've learned in over 44 years in the industry with my light truck passenger vehicle license for repairs and service, all the way up to Mack trucks, Peterbilts, tractors, you name it. And HVAC, heating and air conditioning on automobiles. I can't wrap my head around any of that. So I leave you with this. Beware of those who are selling you and telling you maintenance free, lifetime warranty. There is a loophole for them to get out of that. And it's up to the consumer to be a professional consumer, a prosumer, not a consumer. They don't have to disclose everything, only something. So when I see even the term premium today, I insert the word junk because there was a time when premium meant top of the line. It doesn't anymore. It's become part of the word salad. Premium equals junk. Good stuff cheap. Really? Good stuff cheap. Makes me laugh every time. Good stuff cheap. Really? Okay. So I hope I didn't beat on you too much, but you need to know this stuff to put money back in your wallet. Own that vehicle and keep it like I do as long as you want to. My last vehicle, 16 years. I kept one actually 16 years. People usually say, can I buy that? Look, I'll give you, what do you want for it? And it's like, no. Get away. No, not even if you lick it. You can't have it even if you lick it. So don't lick my car. Anyhow, I make fun of it, but you know what? There's so many ways that if you grab hold of my coattails, that you can put money back in your wallet and own and operate an older automobile that's reliable, safe, and secure for you and your family, and maintain the thing like it's the last vehicle on the planet that you're ever going to be able to get your hands on it. And yeah, it's okay if you lick it. It's good. Yep. So, lifetime. Lifetime fluids pick up dirt. They're heated. They're cooled. They deteriorate. Degradation is the term in my world, the automotive world. They break down. And they're done. They're done. So then now they're not protecting the components that you think that you're protecting them with a product that is lifetime warranty. What are they paying for anyway? So let me ask you this. So if you buy that fancy motor oil or transmission oil or power steering oil with these so-called additives in there, if the engineers wanted to build the oil and put additives in, they would. They put the additives in already. So we'll talk about that another time. Additives and product enhancement things. So, yeah, we'll break that down another program because there's a whole story behind all that too. Additives and this and that, adding into products to make them better, make them last longer. It's not true. It's snake oil. It's a selling feature. That's what we want to hear as human beings. Tickle our ears with the words maintenance free, lifetime warranty, good for the life of the vehicle. I love that one because, again, it boils down to mileage or month. That's the lifetime of the vehicle, the lifetime. It's not 25 years. Yeah, like a jail sentence. 25 to life. No, lifetime warranty. It always has a limitation. And so what are they paying for when your engine blows and you had that expensive motor oil in there that's lifetime? You never have to change it. What are they going to pay for? They're not going to pay for anything because they already know what the back door is. Yeah. So let's pull over and park that one. What are we going to be talking about tomorrow on Saturday morning? Well, let me see if I can find that. I have it right here. Yeah, we've made it to the weekend for some of us. We'll see you for another edition of Motormouth's Morning Drive for those who are on the road tomorrow morning, being Saturday. Short trips versus long trips. What actually wears cars out? I've talked about this a little bit in depth about vehicles that have low mileage versus vehicles that have tons of mileage, and which one would be the one that I would buy if I was looking for a pre-owned vehicle. Yeah, I did break that down in another conversation, but this is going to be a little bit different. So tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on Saturday, short trips versus long trips, what actually wears out? We're going to break that down a little bit more. So drive safe out there. Weather's going to be a little bit wintry, wacky. It could get extreme. So be prepared for that. Make it a great Friday. Happy Friday to all of you. And enjoy your weekend when you get there, whatever that looks like. And keep it under 100. Put that coffee on. Because I think we'll come to your house. So peace, patience, kindness always. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for another edition of the Car Connection Workshop. Bye for now.